Hello, hello. I'm Orlando,
And I'm Kaz.
and this is Late Night Right. Now, tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to interview Kaz. And this would be about the book she has written, um, which will be, yes, she is Kaz.
Yeah,
Yeah, but her book is titled No Way Home. This was the book she wrote and after she got home back to Australia, after running around Europe trying to make sure she didn't get locked down
again.
again and again and again. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. So basically, let's just start her off clean. What was what was the main thing that made you feel like you needed to write this book?
It was just the strongest urge to write it down as a record of this actually happening to me, which I'd never expected. All of the things that I went through for a whole year during pandemic year 2020, and I got trapped overseas and could not return home through politics and, COVID and things like that. Just crazy government stuff. So yeah, I suffered. I can't say I enjoyed it, but it was like the most stressful year I've ever had to go through, and to be on my wits, living on my wits. And every single day, multiple times within a day, I was looking out for change, uncertainty, all of that. So, I mean, by the time I come back or allowed back into Australia a year or more later, I was an absolute wreck, and I felt, if anybody's had PTSD, and I never had before, but I felt that's got to be it, because I was so glad when I was put into quarantine for 14 days. That was enforced in Australia, Western Australia. I put us in a hotel. Everybody else was complaining about it through Facebook, through all of those places, and I was crying with relief to be locked down for 14 days because at last I was at home. I know my territory. I know what was going on. And I didn't like it. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to go home. The Sydney is my home, but I couldn't even land there. And there's multiple things happen daily, and you were there, Orlando, in most of it. I
For
was,
chunks of it, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I suffered COVID alone. This little old lady didn't know that nobody knew what it was back then. But, yeah, I was sick and I didn't die. I mean, yeah, I should record this.
Well, yeah,
But it had
yeah.
to be a book.
Well, yeah, that is one of the things. But I mean, from what I could tell, with all of your all the different stops you were making along the way, and trying to get out of a place before it shut down on you, before the whole country locked down. That was to me that was just insane. You know,
It was insane. Never come across anything like it, The expectation was different than what was happening.
well, yeah, I could understand that. Because I know individual places, where we were having meetings, from
Mm.
place to place to place. I mean, for in Georgia, I
Oh,
mean, that was pretty clean. I was glad you were in one place because the the COVID kept coming back on you,
Oh,
right?
it was there in the air all around the world, and it never went away with fear. The fear was driving everybody into
Mm.
all their decision making. However, from my personal side of it, all I needed to do was exist, to keep on trying to keep my head above water, to keep finding food. Everything went really basic stuff. If anybody's done Maslow's pyramid, you have to eat first and all that, and then stay safe and, obey the rule, but break it if you have to, that kind of thing. Be careful. It was like what happened was, I suppose I should say where I started. I left Australia. There was no COVID. I went to
Right.
America and I went to meet my friends, Jimbo and Grin and all that. And that was in New Orleans. I had a month in Orlando prior to that. And
You mean
everything's having
you
fun
mean
and everything
Orlando?
catching up.
You mean
Orlando.
Orlando? No,
Orlando, yeah. Sorry, what's that other place? What's the state? Florida.
Florida.
Florida. Anyway, so here I was having a lot of fun, enjoying, catching up, people I'd worked with in China like years and years ago. And we've always kept that kind of reunion thing happening, which I love. And we all like that. And I
Hmm.
think I was the only Aussie who was, oh, you're Aussie, token thing. I don't know. And no insult. Anyway, so there I was after the Mardi Gras. I caught a flight to, I got a flight to New Orleans, LA a few days. That's when I got sick and I knew there was something wrong, but it didn't stop me flying. Uh, Seattle, that's when the police were taking everybody's details. Police were, were
Yeah, yeah, yeah. On at
taking
the
your
airport.
fingerprints or your thumbprints and fingerprints, all your details, where you're going, where you're there, blah, 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 where you're from. And they let us board one by one, which was a slow process. It was all, and nobody even, twigged on the COVID thing. And then I ended up from Seattle to Heathrow. I had an overnighter there, which I slept. Then I got the flight the next day to Istanbul,
Right.
which is in Turkey. Istanbul, yeah. And that is where I slept all the way. It's about 5 hour flight. I slept and I got to, I could barely, when I got off the plane, I could barely walk. And I'm going, and the brain wasn't even making sense. I never even thought that was odd. I'm tired, but I forgot it. I've already slept 5 hours, and everything was heavy,
Right.
heavy, heavy. Anyway, I missed the flight in Turkey at the airport. I was at the airport and waited. I had I don't know, 12-hour flight, and then it was another 24-hour flight on top of that because I missed it. I had to buy another ticket. And I ended up in um, Batumi. That's a little town on the Black Sea in a country called Georgia, not the state, only, it's a
Right.
country,
Yep.
European country. And I thought, this is cool, great, and I hadn't been there because I'm a world traveller as it is. So luckily I was, in fact, because I don't think many people would have survived it or so bloody bad. Anyway, so I got settled into this hotel. It was called, what was the name of it? Rock Hotel or something like that. Anyway, it was really cheap. It appealed to me. What was it?
Uh-huh.
I think it was $200 a month, I think it was. So I had 2 months there. And while that
Hmm.
happened, okay, once I checked in, I just want to say this bit about they cancelled the very day after I arrived, all the airports were shut down.
Yeah.
Everything changed
Hmm.
for me in that country, and they called a state of emergency.
Hmm.
Okay, what does this mean? And then they come out with all these rules. Now, this country is has been part of Russia, and they are rule hungry, I suppose. That's okay.
Well,
And
all the countries seem to be doing the same thing.
yeah, and this is a very, very strict country, I'll put it that way. And what happened to me from that moment when they've locked everything down, the country's locked down. No buses, no trains, no public transport, no cars, no anything. No walking if you're over a certain age. I can't remember what it was. It's in the book. No
Mm, yeah.
walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and there it was. And how long, you know how long I was locked up for?
Oh, yeah.
6 months.
Yep.
6 months. So all of you people in Melbourne complained about 2 weeks. I had 6 months and nobody knew
Yep.
about it. So bugger it. It's in my book. It actually happened. It's a record, you know,
Yep.
of these things
Yeah.
that happened during a pandemic.
Hmm.
That is what I was doing. Yeah.
Well,
Very
yeah, and I
important.
mean, for the longest time, the only way you could eat it was to order in. I mean, that was it. You had no other options.
Absolutely. That's the only way I could get food was to, and they just began, and that was like they only just started doing that delivery thing because the restaurants were closed. And I thought, oh, I suppose we better feed the people because I went online and there was a door-to-door delivery just
Hmm.
started up in that country, you
Yeah.
know, and so
Well, if they're
it's
not going to let you
limited.
go to the store, I mean, really.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No walking in the streets unless you're going to the supermarket or the shop for food and straight back. Otherwise,
Hmm.
you'll get arrested. Um, no taxis, no Ubers, no anything. And what a lot, it ended up being um, going to Carrefour, which is their biggest supermarket in that town. I saw a horse and cart service.
All right.
That was just, you walk out of the supermarket, you hail a, a horse and cart drive, and they don't
Yeah.
speak English, and you got to go point to where I live, that tall building over there. What? 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 Everything
Well,
was
yeah,
different.
but you got to do what you got to do, right?
But I couldn't go to the supermarket in the beginning, not at all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I remember
in the
that.
bit. Yeah, yeah. It only when they eased up at one stage or other, you know. Because the problem with Georgia, they got proud of the fact that they didn't get any or many cases of COVID. And I
Hmm.
think it was about seven in this daily news. They, it's almost like, don't get it, do not get it, do not go out, do not come in contact, all that stuff. So 6 months of all this stuff, you know.
Hmm.
Then they kind of eased up. I don't know what happened.
Well, I think people just didn't bother telling them if they did
Yeah,
get it.
I ended up sneaking to the shop. Yeah, I did sneak to the shop a few times, but God, that
Yeah,
was
but
just
you
a
had to
war.
wear you had to wear a mask and gloves, was it?
Oh, yeah. A couple of, that's right. A couple of times I went to the supermarket without, and I forgot my mask. I left it at home. They wouldn't let me into the mall. Not allowed into the supermarket. So I said, well, what am I going to do? They said, go home, get a mask, or go to the chemist buy one. So I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Kept buying them. but I did
Mm?
read. I did read at about the same time that in America it made international news that some family was in the same situation, didn't want to wear masks, and all that kind of stuff. And they shot, one person pulled out a gun and shot the staff who wouldn't let them in, to shop.
Well, it depends where you were because some of the states didn't have any shutdown at all.
Oh, yeah, but somebody did shoot somebody because they were not allowed in. Where
Well,
I
yeah,
was, yeah, well, yeah, oh,
you would,
that's right.
you
I'm not
know.
saying it was all of them, I just say one occasion.
Mhm, mhm.
And then while I was away, I thought, "Ooh, this is my personal recollections of it is like, oh, thank God I'm here." And that was like a weird reaction, of course, I know that.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I should be grateful for
everybody,
what I have.
yeah,
Yeah,
but everybody does try to make the best out of the situation that they're given. I mean, it's just
absolutely.
human nature to do that, right? It's like, well, okay, well, at least I don't have that to worry about. Okay.
I know. That was me. Phew.
Right,
And
right,
that was
right.
an odd occasion. Honestly, not everybody does
Mhm,
that sort of thing. Yeah.
mhm, mhm. Yeah,
But people were pretty upset about the COVID as well.
yeah,
This is way before vaccines were even there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
I'm not
getting
even
back to,
talking about vaccines at all, but yeah.
yeah, I know, but getting back to the actual story,
Yes.
which is about the things that happened to you in Europe. Like I remember having a meeting with you and you telling me about I'm the only person in this building.
That was so scary. Yeah,
I
it
mean, to me, that was like,
really,
okay, this is
yeah,
has the makings of a horror movie, you know?
yeah, yeah.
That's one of
I
my
know who,
first thoughts.
that's right, it was. I felt, I've watched that movie where you wake up and you're the only planet left on
N-
you
The only
alive,
person, the only person
only,
left on the planet.
only person left on the planet,
Mm,
and that's what I literally felt that, and it was a weird feeling. It was creepy, and I'm not a scared person of anything. I just roll with the punches. But when you start feeling that, so what was going on then was I spoke to nobody for 2 months,
except
pretty
me.
much, except, yeah, but you weren't in the room or in yeah.
No,
Thank
nobody
God
else
for
was.
that, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I
You
don't know.
know,
I
oh
think
God,
if
what
you
would
and
have,
me were,
could you
if
imagine if we weren't there? That would be
if
terrible.
both of us were there together, we probably would have had a heyday. Um,
Yeah, we laughed. Yeah,
we would have gotten so much writing done, my friend.
yeah, my
We would
ideas.
have had numerous
Uh,
movies made by then.
yeah, exactly. Oh no, I mean, here's, if I don't know if I can paint this, but I hope I got it into the book. That it was a daily thing, a grind. I not know, am I going to hear something today? Next day, will I hear something? Will there be somebody? Will there? I'd every night I'd look out my door, and there was a hallway, with darkened hallway, and it's got all these red and green little lights. It's kind of creepy. Um, and there was no one there. There's no other doors open or shut ever. I never saw that. But um, my food was delivered with the no contact. They wouldn't come talk to you. You were not allowed. And there was, I was saved, saved by the bell. No, by the sound of an elevator door whooshing and
Hmm.
shutting. And that is when I knew the man was coming with the food because every single day. I didn't know whether I was going to get food, because everything was happening, something
Hmm.
different, and it was like one day. I mean, they wouldn't give me food because they wanted to check on my card. I went, just bloody feed me. I felt like that. And that, but you kind of panic when they say, no, we're not going to give you food, you know. It's like, okay, is this a new thing? Is this what's going to keep it going? What's going to happen next? I'm not allowed out, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, and it's like, anyway, this bloke who comes and delivers it, and I wait for the doors to shut, which means to me that he's delivered the food and he's left. And that's when I open my door, look down and go, oh, food. You know, like, is
Yeah.
this, you want, everybody wants a sameness about what keeps you alive, you know?
Hmm. Well, and especially when you're used to being independent and looking after yourself, and then
No
now all of
option.
a sudden you've got to depend on people you can't even see.
That's right.
You can't even say
Before,
hello to or say thank you.
yeah, there's none of that going on. No, I
Hmm.
didn't want to know you. You know. But before you had options. You could walk to one shop, you'd go to the other shop, or get a taxi, go somewhere. You would
Hmm.
go, oh, let's go try that place. I haven't. All of those disappeared. You know, it was
Hmm.
just I was living on Subway. You know, rolls, bread rolls, and McDonald's and KFC, and all the restaurants were shut down, so there was no really delivery. So I did this for 6 months. I got weak. I couldn't walk, and I found that out when I changed gigs. You
Hmm.
know, later
Yeah.
after the 2 months there, not movement, no movement. I couldn't walk, and I got the reception. Uh, Irene, whatever her name was, she stopped being there, and I thought, well, that's just me. And the maids stopped coming; they just didn't come. And I said to you, and I said,
Hmm.
maybe they died, maybe got COVID and died, maybe they all did. And that was always a thing, you know.
And it was always a possibility, nothing in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them was Russian. She said, and maybe she's gone home and maybe died, and all families were keeling over. People were,
Hmm.
you know, it was pretty awful. That didn't happen in Australia. Not
Well,
really.
it didn't happen where you were either.
Yeah. There was a Ruby Princess. There was one cruise ship who did come in and bring
Oh,
people.
the yes, the whole world knew about that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah.
even
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know.
Everybody knew about that.
Mm,
Literally, it was on every news station everywhere online.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay,
So
so
I mean, yeah.
okay, so um, how did you manage to get out of Georgia, and how long did it take?
All right. It was the 6 months. It was that I had a few false starts by trying to. I kept waiting for the airports to open, and no.
Hmm.
By the way, nobody was allowed out of the country, and nobody was allowed in for
Right.
all of that time. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It was
didn't
locked
matter
down.
how. Right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't go to the capital city, and there was no transport, no cars, no taxis, no nothing, no
Hmm.
trains, no buses, blah blah blah. No one was allowed to drive out of your city, town, wherever you are, you know. And
Well, yeah. I mean, if nobody could, get in their cars, well, obviously nobody's driving out.
it was about, I think it was the fifth month. I can't remember exactly now, but that was when that's when we were allowed out,
Hmm.
and I did. I went. This is probably not your answer, but I'm just probably putting this up, leading
You're
up to
getting
that.
there. You're getting there.
Uh, I got I got out, and I went. I realized I'd been in a whole strange place, new place, and I've seen four streets. That's it. Looked at them, been in a couple,
Hmm.
and there's a black sea. I can see it, but I can't touch it. There's a grassland. I can't walk on it. There's all these places, really trendy, cool places, all shut down. And you look out the street, and you, you see that the Kafka-esque thing, where this a guy is on a push bike. The dogs are howling, probably hungry because people used to feed them, I suppose. That was
Well,
scary. I had a
well, yeah,
balcony.
yeah, because I mean, none of the restaurants are throwing out any garbage and stuff anymore. You know,
That's
in the back
right.
bins and stuff like this. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I would assume
Cactus
that had something to
died.
do with it.
Mm. Yeah, and I'm kind of scared of dogs, especially the pack, because I used to be terrified.
Yeah,
And
well,
if you
hey,
take,
when dogs are in the pack, everybody should be afraid.
no, no, especially when they're hungry, and well, I lost weight. I couldn't walk very well. Well, I could walk, but for a distance. Anyway, back to this lady. I said to her, and I'm almost in tears. I'm going. I found this place online, which was up the road, up near the supermarket, and I said,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not allowed to move because of the law. She said, wait a minute. She went into her that thing, and then she said, she come back, said, when do you move? When you move? And I said, Today, tomorrow, today." She said, are you packed? I said, yes, I'm packed. And I was, and that's where I was brave enough to even talk to her, because I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't seen her for weeks either. Who is she? She could have been dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, she came in with her mate, her bloke, and they both start, how they do, they kind of bustle you around a little bit. They pick up your bags, anything else, come on, come, come.
Let's go.
And I followed. I was like the little red caboose. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
carry the stuff. I hadn't walked for so long. And I went, holy shit, God, this is not good. Because we couldn't get no vehicles. You had to walk to
Mm-hmm.
the place. And through this, and we're coming in, I could hear the packs howling, the dogs. And I'm going, oh shit, we're going to walk through this, aren't we? And they were not scared. I was. And they were carrying all my bags, and I'm okay. And then I said, I got to stop, breath. Anyway, finally got there. We got to this new place, and I got new digs, but that's the place that I was near the supermarket. That's
Yes.
when I started disobeying the law, and I'm going, stuff it, I'm going. And the
Yep.
police station was across the road from our block, tall block,
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, my life started to get a lot better.
Well, yeah, and you started moving again, and eating better.
Yeah, eating better, yes.
Yeah,
I
that
was living on
supersized.
Coke and chocolates and
Yeah,
things,
that
whatever I could
supersize
come
me
up with.
diet just doesn't work.
Oh, what a mess, mate. Every
Mm-hmm.
single day, and I was on my and all the time. I felt very metamorphosed. The Kafka thing. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
felt like Gregor. I'm turning into a bug. I
Yeah,
think
but you didn't. Yeah, but
I
you
didn't.
didn't.
No, my imagination went wild.
Well, yeah, because
And
I remember it didn't take very long after that when you they actually took away the lockdown.
yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. H- How I did get out of there was like with a few false starts with Turkish Airlines out
Hmm.
of Batumi. The government said it's open, then they said it's shut. It's open, it's shut. Each time they did that, I paid for an air flight, a flight out. It was cancelled. Flight cancelled. I had 7 flights cancelled.
Wow.
4, I think, but that'll do.
Ye- well, over,
During the
over
whole
over
year.
the course of the whole thing, yeah, you had a lot
That's
more than
correct.
seven.
That's right. And then I ended up getting this driver. Oh, the Randy driver. Who did he look like? The cab driver.
Yeah.
Didn't have
Yep.
he must have been an Uber
Yeah.
driver, but God, I didn't like
Mhm.
that bloke
He
at
was just
all.
looking for a sugar mama,
And he wanted sex, and he's not getting any.
huh?
I told him, bugger off. And that's when I thought I'd really screwed my ride up. It was a 6 hour drive from Batumi up to Tbilisi, which is the
Right.
capital city, where
Yes.
the only airport was open,
Right.
physically really open. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to depend on something. So I did all that, yucky, yucky, Yeah. Who did he look like? Who did I say? Oh, Kevin Spacey. He wants to get a mental picture of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's enough. That's enough to put horror movies in. Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there she
Oh,
is.
there she is.
Hang on, my light, my sound is gone.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Hang on. I
Hang
gotta
on, I gotta
turn this down a
turn this
little bit
down a little bit
because it just
because it
went.
just went.
Wow.
Wow.
Hang
Alrighty. How's that?
Alrighty, how's that?
on. I've got another set. I don't know if these will work.
Well, I can hear
Well,
you
I can
fine.
hear you fine.
Yeah, oh, that's because it's using just that. Okay, see if I can hear you.
Okay. They should be
Okay, they should
okay.
be okay.
Yeah, you're going soft on
Okay. Hang on a
Okay, hang on a
second
second here.
there. Keep going.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Uh,
Hey,
Is that better?
is that better?
Yeah, I could hear.
Okay. Good.
Okay, good.
Good. Good. Good.
Good, good, good,
Good.
good.
All right.
All
So
right, so
go on.
go on.
I flew out and went to London. Why did I escape? Because I was trapped and
Mm-hmm.
because I needed medication. I was sick. That's the other side of my story, and which drove me out of that country. It ended up being quite good in a way, but I was
Mm-hmm.
worried about health, this, that, and the other, and medications. They didn't speak English, didn't know what I was talking about. There were no real doctors. I was
Right.
told that
Right.
by the Randy driver taxi. He said, no, you've got to go up to capital city. I said, well, I can't go up there, can I? So, I'll take
Exactly.
you, I'll
Exactly.
take you. What was we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had
So
to
Okay,
go
so
to London. I went to Scotland, Edinburgh, because being an Australian, I could get all my medications done. They speak English, number
that's
one.
right.
that's right.
And
Mm-hmm.
number two is that I was entitled to freebies and I had no money.
And I
I
believe
was,
And
at
I
that
believe at
time,
that time,
I was just a
London was.
pensioner,
London was,
right?
I
Yeah.
know, but
I know,
London
but
itself was
London
still
itself was
closed,
still
right?
closed, right?
Yeah, oh, that town,
Yeah.
that city,
Heathrow
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Heathrow
closed.
was closed.
I ended up in a hostel, in a pod thing. Well, not many people there either, and everything was closing down. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the shops are shutting. The foods were. The fish and chip shop was open, which did really good business. Everything else was shutting down. They can't make hamburgers.
And this was
And this
winter
was
time.
There
winter
was a
time.
subway, and I thought, here we go again. My life is living with Subway,
Yeah, I know,
which
but
is
Yeah, I
not
know,
the
but
trains,
this was
the
winter
this
food.
was
time,
winter
right?
time, right?
Hmm?
This was
This
winter
was
time.
winter time.
It was. It was
Yeah,
like,
it was
Yeah,
cold.
it was cold.
it was August when I left, August.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
we're
this
talking
is we're talking
November.
6
later.
months later.
Yeah, I ended up with Christmas in around the Christmas period
Mm-hmm.
in a freezing cold Edinburgh.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
I remember
I
that.
Expensive,
remember that.
not cheap, and I was running out of money. I had an
Yeah.
income, of course, but it wasn't. It was taking everything, and
Hmm.
so I had to go to a country. After I'd seen the doctors, got pills and stuff, and then I thought I've got to get out. I've got to get. And what happened was, while I was deciding all this thing, I thought the hospital that we were in, or I was in, and made a few friends there, of course. But they said, "Oh, really sorry, but we're shutting down the hostel." I went, "Oh." There, from that on, my head started to scramble the right way, and I thought, that's it. I've got to find a cheaper country to live in. So I did. So I
Hmm.
went back to Istanbul to because it was there were no more direct flights anywhere. Flights could cancel all around the world.
Hmm.
Could cancel. So
Yeah,
I
and
had a few cancellations, but I
there was
finally
no
got
getting back
one.
to Australia either.
Yeah. I went to Istanbul, had 2 weeks there, where I had to fill in so before I could get a flight, which was like, it's always like, I wonder if I can, I wonder if I can, I wonder if I can, is this going to work, is this going to work? And so it's going to be cancelled overnight. They're not sleeping, in other words. Anyway, it's happened to me a few times. I went to, because I couldn't afford to live there, I took a 2 week um, flight to Egypt, which is
Hmm. Okay.
Hurghada, yeah. Egypt by the Red Sea, and I'd never ever heard of that place. None of this was intentional. Everything is about surviving.
Hmm.
Every decision I made was about how to survive.
So you went from the
And
Black Sea to the Red Sea.
mm, yeah, so I had 2 weeks there waiting because my ambition, so my thing that I had already, I know this sounds jumbled, but my main trajectory was to be in Morocco, where I had lived
Hmm.
before, which is very cheap country, you know, Edinburgh to Morocco, cheap. That so now I can stay there for 3 months without having to leave and then come back again, things like that, providing there were flights, etc. So in that interim time, I had a fun time in Hurghada. It cost me a lot of money. I had to do a lot of tipping, bribes there. And I went, just get me out of here. So I did back to Istanbul and then a flight to um, France, Marseille, or whatever they call it. Then a trip to Marrakesh because I was on the way to the sea where I'd been there before. And I know
Hmm.
it was cheap living, good food, blah, blah, blah. And sit it out. While I was there, in Morocco, what happened? I got COVID again, of course, which like a sneeze in the sun shower. I don't know.
And that was about it.
That was about it, except for the murder. There was a
Oof.
murder.
Right.
I remember. It was
Yeah.
it
Next
was
door.
New Year's Day, a whole new year, 2021. Banging on the door, 10 a.m. There was all these little guys. Did you ever think of Pink Panther? I mean, this is worth reading just for that. These guys in jeans, in shirts, in guns, one loaded, and there was these tall guys all speaking French, and then they said blah 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 blah, and I said what in English. I said what? He said I don't know what you're talking about, and then they must have looked at it, English, 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 English. And they got this guy, the small guy, and pushed him. They fumbled him and put him in front of my door. Talk, kind of thing. And I looked at, and he didn't speak English either. It was all like, no. And then somebody shouts out, and one of the ladies, there was a crowd, just like in Life of Brian, where they all
Mm-hmm.
crowd around, like all in an Asian kind of clothes and all that. I don't know what they're called. Anyway, so she said, murder, murder. And I go, what? No, he said, gun, and they got their guns, and there's a crowd, holy shit. No, and then somebody started to talk to the police, and because they asked, oh, did they said murder, and I said, no, not me, but someone else. I can't remember. I'd have to read the book, that section, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
that's what they
savage.
get for waking you
And
up
it
and
was my next
sleeping.
door neighbour. He did kill a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, geez, I'm lucky I'm old.
Well, there's
No,
always
there's
good
always
things for
good
that, eh?
things for that, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was it. And what happened there was I got sick again, and I was trying to get back to some place where they have English, where there's no doctors there. The problem with these places where I go, there's not a lot of doctoring, upper class, I suppose. I never used that word. But what is it? It was like communication was hard.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it would
Yeah,
be
it would
because it's
be, because
completely
it's
different
completely
language.
different language.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
And
so
anyway, I
where did
am.
where did you go
where
I,
from
did you
there?
go from there?
hmm?
Where did you go
Where
from
did you
there?
go from there?
Next, I'm trying to remember. Where did I go from Morocco? Oh, I remember. The problems were, I think you couldn't get a flight home because I was not allowed to enter Australia, even though I'm a citizen, passport carrier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody
But
was.
nobody
the,
was.
the limit was the government, ScoMo, the bastard, um, 3,000 people only were allowed into the country. I think it was weekly. And it was only 3,000 people were allowed in. And,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to pay $3,000 for the quarantine, right? But the other problem was getting a flight. The,
Right.
because, demand, it went up to $17,000 for one flight from Europe to Australia. Another one I thought was like $74,000 for a flight
Wow.
to Australia.
Wow.
See, I was never in the game because of cost, never.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing was 3,000. This is overwhelming. I could not get a flight into a country that I wouldn't count for anything. So here's the fact of the matter is too, is that while I was in Batumi very early on, when Australia shut down and I was advised by email,
Mm-hmm.
I contacted the Turkish embassy because there was no, consulate. The Australian consulate was located in Turkey. There was not one
Okay.
in
Okay.
Georgia. So I did contact, and in writing, I let them know my situation about health problems, about this, that, what's the, what's going on, and I got back from them that we can't help you. Oh yeah, I figured that, but at least it's been noted,
Mm-hmm.
and I did contact them again before I left Georgia and told them what I was doing. I think something like that. Anyway, I asked for help if there is any, and it was got crazy with governments.
Hmm. Well, if
Mm.
I'm not
Well, if I'm
mistaken,
not mistaken,
by
mm-hmm.
now
By now
you were already
you were
making
already
notes.
making notes. Sorry.
You you
You
were already
you were
making
already
notes
making
and
notes
taking
and taking. Yeah, yes, I was. That's right.
you were writing down
You were
stuff
writing
that
down
was
stuff
happening
that
and
was
dates.
happening and dates. Yeah, I did. I
You know,
started
because I
writing.
mean, it was such a
Because I mean, it
crazy
was such a
story
crazy
already.
story already. It was
You know,
it was gigantic. A story, a pandemic worldwide. It is a big thing, a big
hmm
deal. Mm-hmm.
and of
And of
epidemic
epidemic
proportions.
proportions. I just had to, yeah. I couldn't believe it, like every little thing was like, it's incredible. There was not a peaceful moment that you did. There wasn't a day when you didn't have to worry about something. You wanted it,
Mm.
but you didn't. And I'm not a huge worrier. I just travel all around the bloody world. I've been places without fear when I should have been, but didn't. And I wasn't
Well,
even
yeah,
that afraid of, well, I was, but I
but
didn't
at the
know if
same
I'd
time,
had the COVID or I hadn't, or this kind of stuff. And
hmm
it
but
was
at the
like,
same
but
time,
at the same
Kaz,
time, Kaz,
you were just
you were
keeping
just
ahead
keeping ahead
of all of
of all
the
of the
close downs that were
close downs that
happening.
were happening.
There were more
There were more
shutdowns and
shutdowns
shutdowns
and
and
shutdowns and
shutdowns,
shutdowns. Yeah.
and you were just
And you
keeping
were
ahead
just
of that.
keeping ahead of that. That's right, mate. Yeah. It's always a shutdown. You never knew when it was going to shut down. When
Well, yeah,
well, yeah. You were
yeah,
cancelled all the time.
yeah. And
I
your whole
wasn't
point,
anyway.
your whole point was
Your
to
whole
get to
point was to get
somewhere
to somewhere
where you
where
were
you
able
were
to
able
stay,
to stay
and you
and
could
you could
understand the people.
understand the people. Thinking the brain was ticking over day all the time.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I
I
know.
was
Incredible.
with our
With
meetings.
our
It was
meetings, it
very
was
weird,
very weird. Mm.
but I
But
mean, it was just as
it was
much as
just as much as
a journey for
a
me.
journey for me.
Because every
Because
time we
every
were having a
time we were
meeting,
having a
it's
meeting, it's
a different place.
a different place. Yeah, yeah,
It was fun.
it was fun. I mean, I'm not even talking about the fear of death as much as everything else. I mean, it's hard to balance one thing being worse than the other. I mean, I used to think about it too, like, what is
I
it?
don't think you
I
had
don't think you
time to
had
think
time
about
to
it.
think about it. Yeah, I had a lot of time to think about it, yeah.
Well, there was so much
But
you
there
were
was so much
doing.
you were doing. Kind of slotted this thing. I'm worried about dying. I might have COVID. I could die because sorry, not billions, millions of people were dropping dead all around the Western world as well as every other world. I mean, this could happen to me.
Well,
Because I'm in
okay,
a
except for
country.
the fact
Except
that
for the fact that
you had already
you had
had it,
already had it,
which means
which means
basically your immune
basically your
system
immune
said,
system
"Forget it."
said, forget it. Mm. Oh, I'm not scared now, but I mean, at the
Well,
time you had to consider it. You're pretty
well,
stupid if you didn't think of
yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah, but I
yeah,
know
but I know
talking to you all the
talking to
time,
you all the time,
it was more
it was
about
more about
tracking and
tracking
trying
and
to
trying to
get yourself back
get
to
yourself back to
Australia.
Australia. Yeah, I felt it might be safe in Australia
Well, at least it
because
was
they have
English
pretty
speaking.
stupid there too sometimes. No offense, because I'm one of them. I'm pretty stupid. But their decision making was pretty bad, especially down in Melbourne, I learned later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would know better
You would
than I
know better
would.
than I would. You were a witness to all of this because you were my constant
Hmm.
company for that whole time,
Hmm.
even
Yep.
including in quarantine. I was yeah.
Yeah, I was
I got
glad
very
to be there.
angry at the end. Only at the end did I feel I let myself feel very defensive especially after the KLM dragon lady.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Maybe I
that
should.
was
one of those
that was
things
one of
that
those
just
things that just
really put the
really put the
cherry on top.
cherry
That's
on top.
incredible. If you only just read that part in the damn book, you would say that no, that couldn't happen.
Yeah,
But yes, it
Yeah,
exactly.
did happen.
exactly.
And I was gonna, you know,
But on
I
top of
But
never
on top
hadn't
COVID,
of
been
COVID,
so in,
and then this
yeah,
and then this
happens,
pulled
happens,
down.
and it's like,
and it's like,
wow.
wow.
I know. I couldn't believe it. You know, when I was typing this thing, I was that. It was an incredible feeling too. You know, when I came back, I said to you, I said, I got to write this. I have to write this. I must. Then I
Mm-hmm.
got to do this, got to do that, and I was doing all this and dates and details, and this happened then in that order, and it was
Yeah.
all there
Yeah.
because I'd made my notes and all that and not like, and I was making notes because it's unbelievable. You know, the whole thing was unbelievable,
You will know
and
who would
Who
believe.
would
yep,
believe?
mm, it's just like this is crazy shit. This is really crazy shit, you know.
Yeah,
And
and
Yeah,
stuff that
and
no
stuff that
person
no
should have to
person
go
should
through.
have to go through.
yeah, I can't believe that I was. But you know what really pissed me off too? It started to wear on me after a while. This was the whole year. Actually, it was
Mm-hmm.
more than a year
Yeah.
since I
Yeah.
left. I left, I think it was the 21st of January, 2020, and now it's March before I
21.
got.
21.
So it was more than a year. And I think I was on the edge of just falling apart in a way, not because of I got used to everything that was happening. So I'm a good dealer with everything, you know. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
fall apart until
Yeah, but
that
Yeah, but
last
yeah.
bit of it,
yeah.
you know. I don't know.
Well, right.
Well,
I
right.
couldn't describe it, but it's in the damn book.
Well, because
Well, because
you were about to
you were
get
about
out
to
of
get
there.
out of there.
You were about to get
You were
out
about to
of
get out
Europe
of
That
altogether.
was
Europe
my
altogether.
last straw. All my angles were shut. Everything.
Yep.
Yep.
And I was in bloody Amsterdam, of all places. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam. I love the city. I really, truly do. But, you know,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
everything
and
all
everything
lined up,
all lined
ready to
up,
go for
ready to
you to be
go
in
for you to be in
Mexico.
Mexico.
I was off to Mexico because I've lived there before too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where haven't I lived?
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
that
and
just
then
gets
I
that
all
just
mean,
gets
blown
all
up in your
blown
face.
up in your face.
yeah. I mean, I honestly think that if I hadn't uh, my life travels, you know, if I hadn't experienced traveling, world traveling, I don't know how I'd have coped with it because with all the changes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I could adapt quick. I'm a very, you know, I
Oh yeah,
adapt.
Oh yeah,
I don't
I can
get
vouch
I
for
cranky.
can
I
that.
vouch
don't
for
get
that.
angry. You know, I just have to shift with the wind. You know.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm.
But then
But then
finally,
finally,
instead of
instead of
Mexico,
Mexico,
they put you on
they
an
put you on
airplane
an
to
airplane to
Australia.
Australia.
Do we want to talk about the that that section
Well,
of the
why
Well,
not?
book?
That's
why
all
not?
part
That's
of
all
it.
part of it.
Why don't you tell it then?
What you getting
What
into
you
You
getting
into
know how it
into
quarantine?
felt, how
quarantine?
I was.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
having to
But you
be in
having to be in
quarantine
quarantine
in
in
Australia
Australia
when it was
Oh,
when it
already
was
open
already open
and you had
and
already
you had
had
already
COVID,
had
so I
COVID,
mean you're
so I
immune
mean
to
you're
it,
immune to it,
yeah, yeah. Actually,
and
I
you
should
have to
and
get
you
read
have to
that.
get
and you have to get the
and you have to get the
vaccine too.
vaccine too.
When your
When
body
your
had already
body had already
proven
proven
it doesn't
Yeah.
need a
doesn't
vaccine.
need a vaccine.
What a woman she was. Oh, scary woman. Scared me. Oh God! But I was so shocked. This is this is shock for me. Surprise, shock. All of
Hmm.
that.
Mhm.
I'm not expecting to be yelled at, abused, shouted at, told I was stupid, told my country was stupid. I went, oh, phew, not just me, he said, the whole fucking country, sorry. But she slammed down my passport and thinks that this has no value. This means nothing.
And that was still
And
when
that
you were
was
in
still when you were in
Amsterdam, right?
Amsterdam, right?
What is going on? I'm supposed to be getting, sorted out just a fine little thing about they changed my flight overnight because I went to sleep, which you never do that. Never go to sleep. Anyway, so America had said no Australians allowed into to my country.
Into
Not
American
even for
airspace.
transit. It was doing a 2 hour transit in Atlanta on the way um, to Mexico, or where was I going? Beaches
Hang
and
on.
Hang on.
Can Cancun,
You've
Cancun.
hang on a
Hang
second.
on a
You've
second.
got all
You've
kinds
got
of
all
car
kinds of
horns
car
going on
horns
in the
going on in the
background there.
background there.
So I
Yay.
just
So I
turned you
just
down a
turned you
little
down
bit
a
so
little
that
bit so that
until it gets
until
past
it
it.
gets past it.
And so the guy, really nice, he said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, apologies, blah, 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 but we're going to get you a flight direct. So this is really good." I went, "Okay, it doesn't feel good to me, but because I don't believe it by now." I went,
Hmm.
"Okay, what's gone wrong? What's going to go wrong?" So he said, "No, no," he said, "pop in and see that woman in there, those people in the ticketing, and they'll fix your ticketing done." And I went in there and I gave her the thing, and I don't think I actually said anything apart from the hostile look and everything. And I said, "Oh, this is like I've been sent in here to be reticketed for this with all the details, of course, because he gave me the paper." And she said I couldn't fly it because I'm old, because that's a bad. You're bad for flying all around the world when all this stuff is happening. They're gonna kill you in Mexico and all this shit, And that's summing up of it all.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, no. She didn't understand. Why aren't you at your country? Why aren't you at your country? Why? 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 I said, because. And she thought I was a liar. She called me a liar. She called me everything. I was this really bad person. Okay.
Just
And I'm trying
because you
to
like
Because you like
argue
to.
my point,
to
explanatory things were not
Mhm.
tolerated.
Y- What
So
could you do?
I went and rang the Hague, Australian consulate in The Hague. This is
Hmm.
Amsterdam, this is Holland, and I spoke to this woman with a foreign accent, another, uh, another Amsterdamite, I suppose, and she said, "What, what have you done wrong?" More or less, It's like she didn't say that exactly, but it was like she didn't believe me. What are you doing here? You should have been home. You did not apply for something from the government. I said, "Yes, I did actually." "No, you didn't." I said, "Yes, I did." And she said, "Oh, well, I want to speak to your family." So I gave her my daughter's phone number, who's dealing with all my stuff. Could have been
Hmm.
whatever. So she rang Tiffany, and oh, this woman with the foreign accent came back to me. "Oh, I'm very sorry." I said, "Yeah, yeah, not hearing much of that lately." You know,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, said, and I said, "Can you get me on a flight? I'm supposed to be going somewhere out of here where I can afford to live." Because money has a lot to do with my decisions, obviously.
Yeah,
And,
everything.
and she said, "Oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't help you." I said, "You are the guy, you being employed by the Australian government, right?" She said, "Yeah." And I am just so tired of playing nice all the time with these people who are not nice to me. But I still have to play the game being nice. That's I'm used to that. I think I do that most of my life. Being nice,
Yep.
Yep. And I don't always want to be, but I
Well,
do.
yeah,
Well,
because
yeah, because I'm
that's just the
reasonable.
way
That's what
nice
I am.
people
Nice
are.
people are. Anyway, so how did I get home? Pure luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pure bloody luck.
Well, they were
Well,
surely
they were surely
determined not
determined
to send
not
you
to
to
send you
Mexico.
to Mexico. Yeah. Yeah. Whole thing's crazy, mate. Whole
Hmm.
thing.
And then you
You
get
know,
to
and then you
your
get to what a ride.
yeah.
Yeah.
But,
But,
okay,
okay,
so did
so
you have to
did you
get
have to get
the shot
the shot
before you left
before
there,
you left there?
or did you
No. Or
get that
did you get that
when you got back to
when you got
Australia?
back to Australia? Anyway,
Oh, you
trying to
got to switch it over.
connect.
Okay.
Ah, yeah, I've got sound back again. That's better.
Okay. Good. 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 Okay, we've got no more echo either because I was lagging behind you a bit.
When I got back
Um.
in the country, oh,
Okay.
sorry.
So did you have to get the vaccine when you got to Australia or
No,
before?
no, there was no vaccine then. They said they would just work when that woman said, "Oh, you're lucky. When you get home, you'll be able to have the vaccine."
Okay.
When I went to there was no vaccine in the quarantine. Still hadn't got organised on it yet, I don't think.
Okay.
But wasn't long after that, I suppose. What I did the
Hmm.
14 days there, got, as, flew back to Sydney and back to home, and it was not long after that when they started doing it.
Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't
Mm.
sure how the heck that all lined up.
Yeah, pretty vague about it all. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Well,
I mean, once
you
I
know,
got home and safe, and I'd already had, by then I'd had the COVID twice, and I
hmm
felt I had immunity, so
well,
I,
yeah. Considering the second time it was like nothing,
yeah, there was nothing.
right? So it was, yeah, that kind of setup. But I mean, then once you got home, I mean, then you were home. It was like, you know, and then it didn't take
Very
long after
strange.
that where you started putting together all these ideas for the book.
Well, I knew I was going to, but it wasn't long after. I let myself settle down a little bit, but
Oh
I
yeah,
was determined to write that book. It was a
yeah, I
record
remember.
of everything, and it's got all the dates in there when this happened, that happened. Not that
Yeah.
that's a huge deal, but I think if anybody wants, what I wanted too was there's only been the last epidemic was in 1918. Now, 100 years later, the now people, us, had no experience of it, no real record of it apart from whatever. But I've written a personal account of of the pandemic in a
In your
world
travels, in your
pandemic,
travels, yeah.
and to be studied if they want to refer back to, or even write an essay if you're at university about it. Because it's factual,
Yeah, well, yes,
and one
because the dates
person's
are
record.
accurate. Yeah, the dates are
Yeah,
accurate.
that's right. So
Yeah.
I mean, everything was the most thing. If I don't write it down, I will be pretty bloody angry at myself for not putting writing it up.
Well, yeah, get it out of your system.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
that's what I
that,
was saying. Yeah, when
that's
I
one
was
of the
at
one
that
of the
time
best.
at a
Yeah, that one of the best therapies, eh?
yes, yeah. But I tell you what, yeah, I think I started to say this before that when I started, yeah, I was documenting this and documenting that and say all the funny, the craziness of it all. It was a crazy
Hmm.
year. And then I got to, oh God, I get to Mexico. If I don't get to Mexico, I am screwed. I have no money, no this, no that. I'm dead, and having all these PCR tests, money, 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 all in euros and nearly 100 euros all the time, and geez, every few days when the flights and cancelled. No. Anyway, so I get to the dragon lady in Amsterdam who was abusive, and by the time went up and later when I wrote that section up, I was absolutely sobbing when I was writing it.
Oh,
I
I
go,
can believe it.
oh, the anger, the this, the that, all
Yep.
those emotions just flooded back as I'm writing the damn thing, and I'm going, but I couldn't stop
Yes.
because it's like I was released, getting rid of it,
Yep.
And I would have laughed if it actually happened to me.
Well, yeah,
And I
and
thought,
the
oh,
thing is, you
yeah,
you you wouldn't have believed it if it didn't happen to you.
yeah. It took me a year to go back and, I know, some months later, to even
Yeah.
edit that bit. I used to avoid that bit,
Yes, I know.
any editing.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've written it. I was going to I'm going to put it on Amazon and the usual places.
Oh,
I'll
cool.
let you know once I get it. I've got to get a cover.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just something. I'm not very good at marketing my own stuff. But I
Yeah.
can talk about it like this, relate something.
Yeah. True. And
The
you know
good, the
what? Guess
bad,
what?
the ugly.
This is marketing. So yeah,
Actually,
you're
it was
doing it.
kind of like revisiting. It's been a
You're
long
doing it.
time.
You're doing it. You were just not doing paper marketing.
Yeah.
Different types. That's all.
Yeah. That's, it was an easy write. It,
But
it wasn't hard, you know.
yeah, but considering the fact that I had been on weekly, no more than weekly, calls with you during all of that there, and I mean, and after reading the book, it was like, yeah, this is,
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't over embellish anything. It was just like,
No.
yeah, that's literally what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
way and the way you talk in the book, like it's okay, it's your thoughts, is exactly the way you would talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
No
I
bullshit
mean,
in that. Yeah.
you're just like, going down this dark hallway, and it's like, oh, oh, you know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
exactly the way I know you would think, right?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, thought to page, thought to
Yeah.
page.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Memory is pretty accurate then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't believe it. I ended up in a freaking quarantine.
Well,
I was
yeah.
just saying, I don't want to leave here, but that's the only place where I felt safe. Not safe, where I didn't have to worry anymore, to think
Because
about it anymore. It was
because
somebody else's decision.
well,
They
that's right.
fed
Because
me.
and now you were also in Australia. You were
Oh,
home.
of course.
There were
That
there
was
were no
home.
more there was no more
No more
jumps you had to
stops.
try to catch,
Mm,
to
that's
stay
right.
above to stay out of being locked down again.
Oh, yeah, that was like the end, like the finish line. If
Yeah.
you're running a race and it was just like that.
Hmm.
That's it. Boom. It's over.
Or like in football, you're in the end zone. You're good.
Yeah, mate.
Or you're in
Yes.
home plate, you just haven't done that final slide yet.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't mention it to you, as a thought, an afterthought, and I wondered if I would want to travel again. That was going to
Yeah, I
be
remember you
in the
did
book
wonder.
as an afterthought, but I had to force myself to do that. I
Mm-hmm.
went to Bali because that's a short trip. It's only
Yep.
5 hours, you know. So I went to Bali. I went, okay, I did that. And then when I got there, I didn't want to come home. So everything clicked back to normal. I
Right.
went to Singapore, I went to Cambodia again, you know, all these places. I've lived in Cambodia before. I think there have been about 60 countries if I sat down and look it out, but a lot of repeat countries. So there's been hundreds and hundreds of flights and lived in.
Right.
I have, yeah.
Well, and that
There
was
are
one of the
countries I
things.
wouldn't go to. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, but that was one of the things because I'd known you travel, and you've traveled a lot. I figured,
That's
if anybody can do this, you can.
right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I got that done. That was in
Mhm.
uh, 22 and then 23. 24 I went some, oh, where'd I go? No, I know. 24.
Well,
24 I went to Thailand again
well, yeah, you got your
with
groove back.
Shelley.
You got
Mm.
your groove back.
One of those islands, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think there's Vietnam, I don't know, current Vietnam mindset. It's really good.
Good, good, good.
I don't know, but
Well,
everything around me is nothing like that year.
well, yeah, that was. I mean, talk
I
about
could
an
be sure
extraordinary.
of food.
I know, but talk about an extraordinary time in your life,
Mm.
right? I mean, this was one of those things that it doesn't. Um, Fingers crossed, it doesn't happen twice,
Mm. Well, that's
right?
right.
You don't want something like that to ever happen twice, which is,
Mm.
maybe
Mm.
why, 100-year flus, that kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but so that pretty much wraps up the extraordinary journey that took you through the
Mm.
COVID years, where
Mm.
a lot of the rest of us were at home and
Mm.
in a lot of cases not aware of what was happening, you know, in different countries. But at
Mm.
least reading your book and and talking to you at the same time when you were at these places, it was like, you know, I had a much wider view of what was going on around the world than a lot of other
Mm.
people.
Oh, true.
Just
Yeah.
because of
The
it.
surprise factor too. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. With you, everything's a surprise. So,
Was for me. I'm talking about.
oh,
Yeah.
for you, okay.
Not you.
Yeah. Well, it was.
Yeah.
It definitely was. When it was happening, it was like, well, what the heck, you know?
Yeah.
But
Cancel flights
yeah, but once you
in
got
a
home,
minute. Mm.
yeah, but once you got home, it was all it. From there, I didn't worry anymore.
Yeah.
I knew,
Oh.
I knew
Yeah.
you were in good hands once you got home.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
true. You know what? If I look when I look back on that, if I can't imagine getting through all of that without you, because you spent hours with me daily,
yeah.
as I
Well,
recall.
that's what
Well,
buds do.
which as friends do, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that is what
But
friends do.
imagine me without anybody in that world with me. That
I
would
wouldn't
be.
want to. I would not want
Mm.
to.
So I'm grateful. I suppose I should say. I don't have to. No.
Well, it's
Yeah. No, I am very, very grateful. Remember the food tasting. I bounced a lot of that
like
stuff
pepper,
off you. Yeah, the
tasted like
pepper.
everything tasted like pepper.
Yeah. Well, I tried to make a joke out of things. And what about when the hazmat people wanted to carry me away, take me away?
And put you in even more quarantine.
Yeah, I lied to them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no, no,
No,
no,
nothing
no.
wrong with me. I'm fine. After I rang up on myself, then I start worrying. Well, I don't want to go to the, gulag. That's the gulag jail. I remember
and
SARS one in
and that
China.
was and that was right at the beginning when you were in Georgia.
That's right. Oh yeah. And they didn't know what they were doing either, nor did I.
Well, I
And
don't.
I thought
Well,
if I went there, I would catch it if I didn't already have it.
well, that would be pretty much a given, yes.
Yeah, I know.
If they were
So I
only
went,
putting
no,
people in there
fine.
that were suspected of having it,
Mm, it's kind
you
of
know.
crazy shit, isn't it?
I mean, you're already in a quarantined country. You're in a building all by yourself. There's nobody else there.
Yes.
How much
I
more
know. I was the
quarantine?
only one
How
there
much
in the
more
whole building.
quarantine can you get? Other than putting you in with people for sure who are sick
Yeah. I mean,
and
not
nobody speaks
everyone
your
gets a
language.
Russian maid.
Well, and nobody speaks your language.
No, no, no language. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah. Couldn't walk. Couldn't eat properly. I had
but
terrible food.
but the beauty is, in the long run, you made it home, all in one piece.
I did.
Oh, and yeah,
Survivor.
yeah, and had a good rest of mind.
Yeah.
I think more
Yeah.
than anything else, your mind got to have a break.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you were going steady.
Mm.
Every time, even when we were having our meetings and that, you were still, you were on the phone back and forth, looking up
Oh.
the next flight, the next place, the next, the next,
Yeah.
because
I had to. Yeah.
trying to stay ahead of the countries as they're all locking down borders, and it's like you have to get to another one, you know.
That's right. Had to. Yeah.
But
Didn't
I
want
mean, I
to. But had to.
total totally proud of you, my friend, that you beat all the odds.
I did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah. If they knew if I was given if I was foretold the whole future of that year, I would have stayed at home against my will.
Yes. Yeah. It wouldn't have been one of those things you would have gleefully went and did.
Yeah. Well, somebody had to do it. It was me.
Yeah. But the beauty is,
Mm,
you made it home.
I did indeed. Yes, thank you.
Yep, yep, yep. And
And I don't know what's going to happen in the future. There's all it does tell you that you cannot foretell.
that's right.
You cannot tell. You
No,
cannot foretell.
like they say in the movie industry, nobody knows nothing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You
I
know.
was in the twilight zone. There you go.
But your book is written now, and all you have to
Right.
do is your basics, your cover, get your ISBN number, a few little things,
Yeah,
and slap it together, and it'll be well,
it's finished,
of course, we're
but
going
needs
to.
editing.
I know, but we will definitely do be talking about it when it does come out, so that everybody
Oh, yeah.
knows about
Thank you
it.
very much.
Well, hey,
Excellent.
I'll be doing the same thing
Yeah,
with my books, you know,
yeah.
you
Yes,
know,
we did certainly.
or rather, we
Yes.
will be doing the same thing.
Mm.
Because I'm not all that good at promoting myself either. I can promote you real easy.
Yeah, my job to promote yours. Yeah, because then you're a good storyteller. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I am also. We are both, not just me, but we are both writing separately as well. Um,
Yeah.
your stories, which I've had a hand in, some of them,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
Descendant Past. Yep, turning
Yeah,
those,
we've written
turning
that
that mini
together.
series. Yeah, doing. I'm turning that mini series that we've both worked on into a novel,
Yes,
and
that's
I'm
right.
like 2/3 the way done. Edit the final edit, and then well,
Yeah,
like you, that good old ISBN number. You know, title
yeah.
title pages, the back page,
Mm,
your front cover, all that good stuff.
yes, yeah.
We'll
Which
see how quickly we can get that done.
it'd be nice, yeah, to progress your own plots,
Oh yeah,
stories.
or yeah, yeah,
Mm. So I am also, I'm now working on a fiction. So
yeah,
because I've done a non-fiction, which is a memoir,
yes,
they call it, you know, even just a section of
yep.
life, I thought I would do a fiction. And I think it's kind of like, I think
Breath
it's,
of fresh air.
uh, yeah, I was going to say, will I say the title? No, I'll keep that to myself.
Well, no, no, keep
But
it to yourself until it's done. Until
yeah,
it's to
so
where
watch
you
out
want
for
it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. And in
yeah.
the meantime, at the
Be
same time,
fun.
I've got the other two movie scripts that I adapted, and I'll be working those out too.
Mm,
They're just at the editors
yeah,
right now, so I gotta wait.
yeah. There's always something to learn.
Yeah,
And
there
you
is
know,
always something. But on that note, we should wrap her up. And I hope everybody has been throwing on some likes here and good stuff like that. Share it with your friends. If you know anyone who
oh,
likes,
happy Easter. When is
well,
that?
that too. And happy St. Patrick's Day.
Okay. Oh, yeah, they had that.
Yep,
Happy Easter.
yep, just a few days ago. Yep, yep,
I'm
yep.
here. I don't get any of that stuff. So.
Yeah, exactly. Eh? Alrighty. So on
All
that note,
right. Thank you very much, everybody.
have yourselves a
Thanks,
great one,
Orlando.
everybody. And next
Yep.
weekend, we will be coming back to the screenwriting. We just thought we'd give you a
Oh,
little
yeah.
break in between, do something a bit different. All right.
All righty. Yeah, looking
Bye
forward to
bye.
that too.
Yep.
Mm.
See you next
Ciao.
weekend.
Bye.